Let's talk about these latest developments from over the weekend. As you know, the recruiting trail, it's starting to heat up again. It's mid-January and the coaches are on the road, so are some of these recruits, and we're going to talk about it. But first, guys, do me a favor. Hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We're trying to get this thing to 100K. I think we can do it with the help of you guys. Jump on board, hit subscribe. All right. So we're talking about the biggest developments from the weekend. So we got to start with Tai Haywood, the five-star offensive tackle. He's the only five-star available and unsigned. Remember, he was a former Alabama commitment that heading into the early period declined to sign. Well, about a week ago, Chad Simmons broke the news that he's officially back on the market, decommitted from Alabama. Not that we expected him to sign there anyway. So moving forward, the three teams that have emerged as the main teams, I don't even know. Well, one of them I think is a favorite. So it's Michigan, Texas Tech, and FSU. I think FSU is probably on the outside looking in. They do not have an available official visit for January. They already used theirs in the summer. So unless he makes it to Tallahassee, I'm kind of skeptical that the Seminoles are really in this thing. And then you got Texas Tech. They're kind of the wild card. We had Pete Nakos on the channel last week. They're one of the biggest spenders this offseason. So does that spending mean that Tai Haywood could actually end up staying in state, attending Texas Tech? Remember, he's from Denton, Texas. But the favorite here is Michigan. I think they're far and away the favorite. Back in December, they were kind of the reason why Tai Haywood declined to sign with Alabama. He started talking to Michigan, and now I think he's currently on campus as we speak. This is Sunday morning. So maybe, I don't know. I mean, Michigan has him on campus for this official visit. They're going to try to lock him down. Now, commitment or not, it's not official until that first Wednesday in February when he can sign. Remember, the early signing period was in early December. The late signing period, I guess that's what it's called, just signing day, is the first Wednesday in February. I believe that's February 4th. Maybe check my math on that. But it's always the first Wednesday in February. So that is when Tai Haywood could potentially make it official. All right, on to Jared Curtis. He named a top 6 and 3 official visits. Those top 6. Now, Jared Curtis is from Nashville, Tennessee. He's the number 1 quarterback in the country on 3 and on the On3 industry, ranked number 1 at the position. And he named a top 6. It includes Oregon, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, Auburn, and Ohio State. Little surprised to see, or not to see, USC in this mix. I thought USC would at least make his top 6, but they do not. And Jared Curtis had set 3 official visits, and I think these 3 are significant. Maybe call it his unofficial top 3. It's Oregon on June 6th, Georgia on June 15th, and South Carolina on June 20th. I honestly think that maybe even in that order, that would be my 1, 2, and 3. Oregon 1, Georgia 2. Maybe South Carolina 3 on that list, just my insight. I don't, maybe he'll schedule more official visits. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't schedule more. But as of now, those are the 3 that he has. And with that being scheduled, I don't think we'll see a commitment from Jared Curtis this spring. I mean, why would he do that? He has these officials set for June. I do think Jared Curtis will be off the board before the season starts, so there's still a bit left to this recruitment. But what do you guys think on Jared Curtis? All right, let's talk transfer portal. This is getting kind of crazy. This Xavier Lucas situation. You guys know what's going on here between the Wisconsin DB that's trying to leave, and he's trying to go to the Miami Hurricanes, but there's an issue there. Wisconsin is saying that Miami is tampering, so Wisconsin is not letting Xavier Lucas into the portal. Now, Miami needs DBs bad. We watched last season, so we know that. But Wisconsin has not been allowing him to hit the portal. He submitted his paperwork to Wisconsin, and usually there's a 48-hour window we talk about all the time on this channel. Well, that was like 5 or 6 weeks ago. And Wisconsin is kind of putting their foot down and saying, we know that Miami tampered, so we're not letting him go. All right, well, Lucas packed his shit up and left, and reportedly he's at Miami. Yeah, he just packed up and went to Miami. He's either enrolled or enrolling very soon, and he's just going to do it his way. And I do understand tampering is bad, okay? But to go to this length for a player in the secondary, like I could understand, well, I don't even know if I would understand if it was a quarterback. Maybe if it was a quarterback or a big-time wide receiver, we'd be hearing more about this. But Wisconsin must have some kind of evidence. And You better not be living in a glass house either, Wisconsin, because we know everybody tampers. I don't even know if there is a transfer portal, right? Hear me out. A player isn't thinking, hey, I'm going to go leave the spot I'm at and put myself in the transfer portal. Now, maybe they're getting kicked off the team or cut or whatever, but who is going in the portal without knowing your options? I mean, that's just stupid. So in reality, there is no transfer portal. It's just free agency every offseason until we get some rules in here. Everyone tampers, the coaches, the schools, the players. There really is no portal. If you're going to go in the portal, it's because you already know there's some demand for you. And how do you know? Tampering. All right, so we'll see how this situation plays out. Wisconsin versus Miami. They're all making statements. Big Ten's making statements. Wisconsin's making statements. Miami, they hired a lawyer, and they're going to battle for Xavier Lucas. We'll see what happens here. All right. Next up, a major development this weekend is DeCorian Moore. We've had enough. We get it. You're number one. You are the best. You've been the best. You've been the number one wide receiver practically this entire cycle. Stop dominating every all-star game there is. You don't have to. I mean, he was already named Under Armour MVP down in Florida. Then he goes out to the Polynesian Bowl and beat up on every All-American playing in that game. Enough. You are number one. We get it. Go to Oregon, make some more catches. I mean, save some catches for Oregon. You can't go any higher than number one, DeCorian Moore. We get it. All right, coaches on the road. Dead period in February. So the coaches are making these big visits in January for 2026. I mean, some of these 2026 prospects will be making their decisions in February, March. So some of these are going to be the last face-to-face conversations they get, and we're already seeing it. We see the helicopters taking off. Kirby Smart going to see the number one linebacker in America, Tyler Atkinson, dropping in on the Kirby copter or whatever it's called. Imagine a coach flying a helicopter coming to see you in high school. I mean, the only person that ever came to see me in high school was my mom, and it was because I left my lunch at home. But here we got head coaches out on the road, Kirby Smart, Lincoln Riley, Bill Belichick. It's January. This is what they're going to do. Those in-home visits or those in-school visits. I don't know if they're allowed in-home during the month of January, but these are vitally important because of how many prospects we see come off the board early. All right. Those are the biggest developments of the weekend. What do you guys think? Should we rank DeCorian Moore like a 6-star? What do you think is going to happen with Xavier Lucas? Where do you think Tai Haywood's going to go? And who do you think is the favorite for Jared Curtis? Let us know. Comment section below.